Good morning and welcome to episode 5 of 5 of this edition of the Weekend Workout. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And together, let's go with our strength. Let's start with our theme park, working our way through the head and the shoulders and our core. The fun continues as we continue with crawls and handstands and other bodyweight squats to fill in the gaps of your strength with some flexibility, mobility, and all those other fun fitness buzzwords.
But all you need is your body weight.
That's it. And all you need is Lauren's direction to stay on track. So let's start with our feet in a nice wide stance. At the head neck here first, we'll start working on the merry-go-round, meaning push your face forward, pull your face back, or that nice little chin tuck, and then just relax in the middle. Then at the head neck, slide one side, come back middle, and repeat to the other side. Let's go to the rib cage and try the similar action. So maybe the hands come across the body here as we extend that T-spine or push forward, and then keep the shoulder blades squeezing as you round out. A nice subtle round as Lauren's showing. Go back to the middle, and then slide to the one side, return to the middle, and slide to the other, and then also return. Let's go back up to the head neck and draw a circle in one way and then reverse. So at the chin, go forward. Then from forward, go around to the back. Out the back, move to the side. Then from the side, move to the front, and then pull the chin back in. Reverse, but go forward first. So go forward in that chin forward movement. And then we'll reverse the shape as I go to the side, to the back, to the side, trying to reach over there, and then back to the front and bring the chin in. Replicate those same movements at the rib cage. With the shoulder blades tight, go extension or forward, and move in a clockwise way to the side.
Or counter.
To the back. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing, and then reach one more time to the front, and then just return to the middle of that, and then out to the front one more time, and switching your direction, I'll move to the left, and then to the back, and then to the other side, and around to the front, and just casually return to the middle. Return to me in a moment for more upper body theme park inspired movements. And until then, take it over, Lauren.
Let's warm up those tiptoes as we're going to be balancing and using those ankles, knees, and hips. Gently push down into the floor, finding a light balance, rising to 2 balls of the feet. Then let's slowly descend, taking 5 seconds to come down, keeping the hips forward by squeezing the cheeks but the cage down. Let's do that again. Push down to slowly go up so you own all the millimeters. And then let's bend one knee and press the other leg to the floor. And then up and bend one knee, press the heel to the floor. Now we'll go up, and then on landing we'll come down. We'll use our toes to point. We'll gently flex round over, bending the toes in the opposite direction as normal. Roll back over, uppity up. Same thing other side. Keeping that standing leg hip extended as we roll over the toes. Back through and up. This time on landing, let's land. And then let's let that knee bend, working on that ankle mobility as we send the knee towards over the toe. And then press the hip through to tall. Up, other side, land. Knee bend, hips lightly sit back in that cow shape. As we press, let's do that one more time each side here. Knee bend. This time, could you peel that heel up off the floor? So now we're on a double rise, bent leg, and then press up. Now you have to remember, let's go down to the other side. Knee bend, heel peels up off the floor. Double press up, hold, stick it, start finding your balance right side up before we go upside down, and then control that landing. One last time, this time with 2 knees, bend the knees towards over the toes. Stay the same height, but peel the heels up. Then can we sink as low as you could go that you can come out of, keeping those heels up high, 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 high. And then gently press all the way up out of there. And lastly, control
Roll
the
down those windows.
Ooh, and shake that out.
Shake it out. More lower body and core movements with Lauren. And then let's go back to that theme park. And from the merry-go-round or that circle shape this way, let's go to the Ferris wheel and draw the shape that way. At the chin tuck, it starts with a slide over the side again, and this time, bring the chin down as to compress the space between the jaw and the top of the clavicle. And then move across the other side, and then reach up, creating that nice length. Repeat that one more time. Move to the side, move down, move across, up, energy out of that eyeball to the top, and just gently reset. Then we'll switch our direction here as we slide to the other way, and then down and around, and pushing energy up and out, keeping the rib cage away from the hips, and then one more time, down, compress, feel that nice little slide, and then finish at the top and relax. Same movement through the rib cage with the hands on tight. Stay tall, but compress that rib cage onto the hips with the core as you reach down. Then slide out, then lift up, but always be able to take that punch, and then out to the side, and continue to pull down. Feel those abs engage to the side, and one more time as we lift up, and then over, and back down to the middle. Reverse, compress, move out to the side. Stay tall, but also compressed as you move out to the other side now, and pull down, feeling those obliques. Anchor, so we have that stability preceding all of these fun mobility drills. Out to the side one more time, and just bring it back in the middle. And now again, you might have some sweet dance moves. It's Saturday after all. Have a happy Saturday night. But first, back to whatever Lauren's jamming with there.
What dance moves? All right, we'll come back to those. This time, the hips. So let's stand with our feet lightly turned out in that V-like position. And again, find a balance. So we'll push down to go up, and then we'll control down. Now again, on a flat-footed balance, we'll take a leg out to the side. As I'm reaching this leg away, I'm thinking about reaching it down and away. So I'm trying to keep my hips level versus reaching away and hiking that hip up. Then we'll land toe ball heel, we'll pull ourselves across, and we'll stance. We'll stack ourselves on the other leg. Nice balance, hips forward. 3, 2, toe ball heel, pull yourself across, get those hips over top of the standing leg. This time on that leg that's off the floor, let's turn the whole leg in at the femur. Feel those cheeks. Then turn the whole leg open. Hold. Keep trying to turn it open. Land toe ball heel. Hips stack over top of leg. Same thing other side. Femur rotates in. Then it rotates open. Toe ball heel. Pull yourself across. As we pull this time, start to bend that knee, and let's repeat one more time. Whole leg turns in. Whole leg turns open. Then pull yourself across. Knee bent. Hold that bent knee position, trying to fire up the inside of that leg and the butt cheek. And then turn the leg in. Turn the leg open. Pull to center. Now in this bent position, could we find that toe balance again, peeling the heels up? Keep the heels high off the floor as you press through that to find a balance. Baby toes are heavy, big toes are heavy, and then control the down, trying to send those heels forward upon landing. Point, shake, wiggle, whip.
Let's get to the floor. It's hand balancing workouts after all, so let's check in with those wrists and those shoulder blades as well. Let's get to the floor through Lauren's toe squat warm up there. So go knees over toes, then the heels lift as we take our time coming down. Then the knees touch the floor, the hips extend through, and from here, we'll hinge on the hips, landing with the fingers, calluses, and then full hands on the floor. Keeping the elbows straight, firstly, that first knuckle push-up, meaning fingertips stay heavy, calluses stay heavy, elbows stay straight, but the palms of the hand leave. Then just as Lauren has cued throughout the foot warm-up there, up with control, owning all those millimeters, and also go down with control, absorbing that landing into the floor. Repeat a couple more times here, and this was great exercise to improve that wrist extension and the strength of the forearm to maintain that shape. I'll do that one more time, then I'll push the floor away and then push the hips through to tall. For a quick break off those hands, have your hands now at the sides and elevate the shoulders as a shrug, then round forward and then down. Down is that useful shape for our kettlebell skills. The up shrug here is very handy when it comes time to handstand. And now let's retract those shoulder blades and then pull down. And just repeat that one more time of an elevating series up. That's helpful for handstands. The rounding shape forward, that's a nice hollow shape too. and down, and one last time up with a nice retraction, and then light effort down. Let's just spin those fingertips around so they face our knees. It might be intense, so maybe against the wall is an easier place to be, but land with the fingers like usual, the calluses, and then the full hands. And from this place, push your fingers towards your knees, and that might drift you forward. Then get heavy on the heels of the hand, and that might allow you to lean back a little further. Then push through the fingers, and that could drift you forward just that little bit. That could also excite those forearm flexors here on the inside of the forearm there. And then be heavy on the heels as we extend ourselves back. In that position now, try to bend the elbows. I can't do that very much, but I'll continue to try to bend the hands and then flick the floor away. And again, enjoy a nice little shake and wiggle. That is a very casual warm-up for some shoulder blades and some wrists. Always check in. We love our handstand. We also know how hard that is, so take your time as you apply those skills to the progressions Lauren will share with us next.
Let's get into a plank, then we'll do a hollow hold, then we'll do a plank to an elephant. Whoa, here we go. It all starts with a basic plank. So our hands are underneath our shoulders. We're gripping the floor and we're starting to load those wrists up. So just check in. Toes tucked, hips lift, head, shoulders, hips in line. For now, we're going to pull our shoulders out of our ears, engaging our lats. We're going to squeeze our butts. We'll brace our abs. Now try to ripple the carpet TV screen and lifted your feet up. You'd go up into the handstand because you're tight like forward for 3, 2, soft landing, knees down. Right away, we'll do a double core here and we'll flip over into that hollow position. So as we lie on our back with our feet flat on the floor, we'll turn our palms up at the side. Through this hollow position, we maintain that neutral low back, meaning the way your back is shaped right now, I want you to keep that throughout the drill. No pressing that spine to the floor. First, we'll engage our core by lifting our head and shoulders up off the floor. Next, you could either stay here or we could add on by lifting our feet off the floor. You could stay here or we could add a single leg reach, back to center, other leg reach, back to center, or we could extend both legs at the same time and hold, squeezing our butt cheeks, keeping our legs tight together. If you want to go one final step further, both arms would go over to head to that handstand position. We're breathing, we're maintaining that hollow shape. At this time, if I came to the TV screen, I'd flip you over and flip you up into that handstand. So tight for 3, 2, everything comes back to center. Roll yourself up. Let's flip one more time over into that plank. We'll explore a plank to our A-frame position and then a plank to the 3-point position. So first plank, here we are. Holding, breathing, creating tension. Then at the pelvis, start tipping the hips towards the ceiling. As they tip, the hips will start to lift. You can keep a slight bend in your knees now and slowly start straightening the knees. That doesn't necessarily mean driving the heels to the floor, but lightly straightening, keeping that anterior tip in the hips. Then let's pull ourselves back to that plank. Breathing, holding for 3, 2, we're going back up to that A-frame. If you'd like to add on, lift a leg up. Keeping the hips square to the floor, we're now in our 3-point position. Reach that leg high. Pull yourself back through to that plank. 3, 2, other leg. Flick. Hips stay square to the floor. We don't want to open those hips because if they open in our handstand, we'll go sideways. Pull ourselves through one more time each side. Push the floor forward. Lift. Square up. Breathe. Pull back through. Try to reach that leg long, keeping the knee straightened because your butt cheek is engaged. Reaching. End in that plank position for 3, 2, knees down. Push the floor away. Shake out those wrists. And stand up.
Through the toe squat. So push those hips through to replicate Lauren's position there, and then tuck the toes. With or without the hands, find your toe squat. Stay off those heels, find your nice rise, and control the down. And let's just shake that out. Let's continue working the hips and working on some dynamic balances here as we integrate our Shiko squat movements for 4 quick repetitions. I'm in that first position, that slight turned out V, and then just open up to a place that I'm comfortable to stand. Feel free to change this position. The goal, though, as you go forward, is to get lower, not necessarily wider, but choose your favorite base of support to continue. We'll pull ourselves down, then stand up, pull those legs together. Then flick the toe, land toe ball heel, and stand up, pulling those legs together. This time we'll find a single base of support as we are cramping the standing leg, pointing the other foot, and point and down, and then up. Perhaps have that balance aid at the side. Point. This time, find the knee, climbing up that leg, holding a balance and pointing and landing, and then to the knee again, and squeeze, and point, and land. And now we're breaking some of those level hip rules, so extend the leg, and now lean, but keep that bottom leg extended, and land with control, and stay square. But sometimes we like to break those rules too, as we extend through, land in the squat, power up, feet together, and back to the zookeeper here, Lauren.
All right. I'd like to do those little flips we did a couple weeks ago. So first we'll practice our crab, and then we'll combine our crab and our elephant, two very different animals. Let's come down via our toe squat, so knees towards over our toes, soft landing on knees, hips extend. Let's flip right over to our bottom to start. Feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent. Fingertips are pointed away from you. Let's first focus on our shoulders. Lightly shrug your shoulders. Good for handstand, bad for crabs, so push the shoulders down. Now hover the hips just off the floor. For now, lightly pull those femurs in and tip the hips towards the back wall. Then start scooping the hips under, lifting up towards your crab soccer position here. Hips are extended, butt cheeks are squeezed. We're bracing and breathing. Now starting at the pelvis, start with that anterior tip of the hips, pulling the femurs in, reaching them towards the floor. Let's pause off of that. Take one hand, bring it all the way across your body, lifting your hips and rotating yourself now into your A-frame shape here, or your elephant. We're breathing, we're holding here. Let's take a couple steps forward, opposite hand and foot. Knees are relatively straight, hips are tipped towards the ceiling. We're peeling through those hands. Now take a couple steps backwards, and then we'll bring the knees down and take a second off those hands. If you'd like to join us, we're going to flip from a crab to an elephant. It'll go like this. In our elephant position, we'll lift up. To get to a crab, it'll be a leg lifts, rotates, hand comes around, high crab. To get to the elephant, it'll be a hand lift, then a leg lift, back to that elephant shape. Join us if you'd like to, or pick one and work on it. Back to that crab, it's a leg lift, a rotate open, reach across the body. Good. I have to turn around. I have no room to go the other way. I'm going to be a lopsided grab. Okay? And then we're going back hand and then followed by that foot. Let's do that a couple more times to go back where you came from, or try to even it out if you're stationary like myself. Leg opens up, arm opens up, and then hand and leg. Let's end in that crab position one last time. Lift the hips up. Hold. Maybe extend one leg out, but don't let a hip drop. Place that foot down. Extend the other leg out. Don't let a hip drop. Place it down, and then hips tuck. Land on the floor softly. Whew. Flip yourself over, and we'll stand ourselves up via that toe squat. So the toes are tucked. We'll rock back, find the heels, and press to tall.
Awesome.
Whew.
And shaking that out. Work on those nice dynamic squats. Let's take some time off the hands and continue to work on the movement clock series here, but this time on a single leg. The leg that stays still does the bending, and the other leg is extended the whole time at the knee. Bend the single leg of your choice and reach out front, and then push the hip forward, return the leg underneath. From midnight or straight ahead, work that 10 or 2 or diagonal position, and then push the hip through again. This time go out to the side and try to point the toe and keep that inseam facing forward, and then close it up to the midline. Then keep the inseam facing the ground as you reach to the back corner, and then push the hip through. And to the last, out the back on this side, and then all the way through to tall. Repeating on the other side. The knee that stays The foot that stays still, that knee does the bending and then extending. And the leg that's now reaching to the diagonal stays straight or extended the whole time. It requires us to make room on that bending leg to keep that leg straight as it brings itself underneath the hip. We'll keep the inseam turned down as you reach to the back corner and then pull together. And lastly, to the back with a slight lean forward and then bring it under. Alternate your movements, give your wrists a little bit of time in between. And again, as you continue with some handstand kick-ups now, always check in. Feel free to go back to some of those crawls or the wrist warm-up mobility drills to take care and stay strong with your bodyweight practice.
So as we progress into our kick-ups here, let's first start with that tripod entry. So we'll place our hands on the floor. We'll do this I go, you go, where Ian goes, we watch, we go, we take a break. Always take some time off your wrists in between. In this tripod entry of 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, we have our shoulders stacked over our wrists before we go. We are going to start with baby air. So just leave the floor, little baby bird, getting some first airs, alternating which leg you take off of here. Once baby bird is a little prepared for more blast off, we can add some power, kicking ourselves towards vertical. I suggest we do the little scissor change of the legs in the air. It gives you a split second longer up there. It works your brain power, and it also makes you take off of both legs.
Nice. And shake it out in between. Continue to work in this I go, you go rest, as Lauren has said, to again, check in on some form cues as well to give your body a little break. So Lauren is slowly climbing up from a baby bird to the flight of an eagle here, and those toes look gorgeous. They're pointed, the hands are heavy, the elbows are straight, and little Michael Jordan air hang time right there too. So we'll do all the things. We'll do the animal thing. We'll do the professional sport inspiration thing.
I don't know if you do this with both hands.
Most importantly, just focus on your practice though.
All right.
Are we doing 2 sets of that?
Yes.
Okay.
So team me in another set of kick-ups here. And again, remember, you could be doing your plank. You could be walking around like an elephant, a crab, a monkey, as we have in past episodes. You don't necessarily need to be doing this to progress your skills towards this activity. But right now, we're just finding a little bit of air, alternating our legs, feeling how those hands have to work on the floor.
Excellent. And again, I think I did about 6 reps my first time through and maybe 4 that next time. Finish like you could do it again and again and again, and avoid that failure piece in your practice here. Reinforce the good movement patterns that we're really trying to aspire for that ultimate skill, the handstand. It's squat time again, so let's work on our single leg squats here, pulling up to a quick ankle balance. And feel free to stand here if this is a challenging enough exercise for you. If you'd like to progress, it's a knee over toe, just like that warm up, and push the hip all the way through, finishing tall. For this next set, let's do the same thing and get low, and then take the other foot and just tap down like a kickstand. That might allow you to get lower, then remove the kickstand and push the hip all the way through to tall. One last task, can we find that balance in that position and hold and return. Onto 2 feet, switch up. So we have that elevated leg at that ankle. It's a single leg knee bend, which is really an ankle bend. The knee's just along for the ride. And then our hip extension, cramping up those glutes. Repeat the down phase, implement that kickstand, allow yourself to get a little bit lower, remove a kickstand, and push the hip through, full cramp of the glute, and then find a nice little balance rise, and hold, and down with control, back to 2 feet. We'll shake it out. My favorite version of the handstand to get into it is the step-in
entry. So with that step-in entry, we like to start with our arms overhead and those shoulders elevated. Next, we'll have the stagger stance. We'll be taking off on 1 foot. And again, start with that baby air. Good, just get that leg off the floor. Suggestion again would be to alternate which leg you kick off. Yes, it's harder, but try it because it's good for you. Progressing towards overhead. If you're really nervous about going all the way over, 1, I suggest you practice your cartwheel so you can cartwheel out of it. And 2, to prevent that, leave 1 leg in the back, making this beautiful favorite letter shape of an L. That trailing leg will always bring you back down to the floor.
And shake it out.
99.9% of the time. I can't guarantee it.
There's no guarantees in life, except we'll guarantee fun times in this practice here. Tuck in the shirts, performance enhancing tip number 1, and then look for that quiet factor in your handstands as well. If we're loud, that's a little bit more wear and tear and aggressive on those wrists, but absorb that floor, flick those toes, and like Lauren's doing there quite nicely on the up, pushing the floor away. Couple in a row.
I want to do one more.
Yeah, finish on a rep. That works just for you. And we'll do 2 quick sets here, meaning 1 more each time.
So team Ian, if you're focusing on some things, I mean, there's a lot to focus on, but one of the things might be to push the floor away and always end up back to that standing position. Try not to end this handstand in this kind of hunkered over, but get yourself all the way back to top. Again, on the landing, absorb through your hand. And lastly, as you enter this, we want to think about getting up and over something to get into this handstand versus attacking the floor at that angle. It won't work.
Shake it out.
99% of the time.
I go, you go. Let's check out the form here. Lauren's favorite again is the tripod. Mine is that step in. Do both because it will make each of those positions and entries more resilient, but also choose your specialty, whichever one works best for you, whichever foot works best for you. And beautiful lines there, Lauren. And shake out. Let's repeat one last single leg squat. And then there's just one last exercise, I believe, today as we finish today's practice, episode 5 of 5. So like, subscribe, share, and I'm sure we'll finish with similar cues at the very end. Let's pull up to our ankle balance first. Let's do our single leg squat. Point the leg out front and bring it back underneath and extend that hip through. Repeating again, knee over toe. This time straighten the leg and hold it there and lift it higher because you pushed the other leg through. Return to the calf. For the final one, extend that leg out front. Doesn't matter how low we get. Could you take your time getting to your low pistol, and even if you have to rock at the bottom, push your hip through and then bring the leg down. That wasn't intentional, but sometimes that happens. So just shake it out and just work on it for the next time. Same thing, single leg squat, last 3 repetitions, down on a single leg, straighten the leg, return underneath, and push the hip through. Repeat again, down low on a single, extend the leg out front, and let it go higher because you straighten that other leg and return underneath. Then the hardest one is out front, high tension foot of your choice. Take your time as you get low and power up to tall and return underneath and shake it out. And there's a comment there, so I'm going to check it out.
Well,
I just really hope it's not spam.
Comment.
Nice. First time we're watching live. So yes, this is recorded live. High pressure scenarios here.
And this is what happens.
And this is what happens. So thank you very much for joining us there. Ask any questions, send us an email, like, subscribe.
We have one more move today. Ian's going to tuck in his shirt in preparation. We're going to put up to 1 minute on the clock. And you're going to choose your favorite crawl, plank, upside down activity to try to do for up to that minute. Your goal in this minute is to just work on the endurance in your wrists. Work on that strength. Breathe throughout. Let's start in 5 seconds. It might get quiet because we're not good enough to talk in our handstand yet. So in 3, 2, here we go. Up to a minute of fun.
Just felt myself losing it. 35 seconds. Been a little bit of time since I've been there. There we go.
Okay, wait.
Shake it out. I know Lauren wants to finish a little bit cleaner. So take a break.
I got really excited and I used my abs
Let's just aim for a 5-second handstand, Lauren. 5 seconds. Here we go.
3, 4, 5. Doesn't matter how fast you count sometimes. It's about the attempt.
It is about the attempt, and it's about that consistency. So for 5 out of 5 weeks we've been here, I think it has taken us 7 weeks, but that's okay.
It's summer.
Summer and shift happens. So we're here next week. as an archive, actually, because we get to go to the cottage. It's summer after all. We'll be on the dock, though. We'll do some of our hip mobility things with some coffee in the morning and invite you to do similar movements to start your day, Saturday, Sunday, or any day of the week.
But join us on Tuesday for our live class or thereafter in the archives at 4 p.m. where we'll practice our kettlebell skills. Throughout August, we'll be taking the skills we've learned through the past 6 months and putting them together in smaller workouts. Join us then and Thursday night at the bar for hip and some upper body strength. Last week it was push-ups and my lats are still sore. Yes, from push-ups. Like, subscribe, check out our Patreon page, check out our website, as well as our newsletter. And until next time, take care.
Stay strong.
And we'll train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.